One set.
Camera rolling.
Sound.
The good, the bad, the just plain standard. Take one.
Salut.
Hey!
Alright.
Welcome back to the Good, the Bad, and the Just Plain Standard podcast, where we provide you with our informed opinions on movies we watched together. We are your hosts,
Adam.
Anouk.
and Yann. Today is all about Alien.
Starring
Sigourney Weaver, John Hurt, Yaphet Kotto, Veronica Cartwright, Harry Dean Stanton, Tom Skerritt, Ian Holm, and Balaji Badeo.
R.I.P. man, there's some big R.I.P.s in that
I
cast
know.
We
really sad.
We just lost Dean Stanton.
Yes, we did.
Yes, so coming out clean, that's the second recording we're doing.
Yes.
And in the first one, I actually realized because of you that John Hurt was disappeared last year or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we broke. No, wasn't he this year?
just
He died this year. It was early this year.
Oh,
are you sure? We weren't in...
oh yeah, that's right.
No, it was
Yeah,
this-
yeah,
it
yeah.
was
January something. Yeah.
It
we
was
weren't
January.
studying. There were a few big names that died last year.
Oh, too many to count, man.
So between this recording now and the other one that we're discarding, Harry Dean Stanton just died. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad.
Really sad.
Yeah, man, oh man. While we're on the subjects of injuries and stuff, I want to go back to something. This episode is being recorded a week after the episode It came out. In It, I go on to quite a length about wishing Tim Curry could come back and reprise Pennyworth. I did it again. God damn it. God damn it.
Wow, that will become a recurring joke.
Pennywise. Put that on a t-shirt. It's like Pennyworth, but then you just score out the worth and write wise in pen. Cool design, that. Anyway, I discovered that Tim Curry had 2 strokes.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in a mobility assisted chair.
Yeah.
But we watched him talking about his experience of filming It and how he terrified the little boy that played the original Georgie.
Yeah, still got his humour.
Really good humour. We'll put a link to that interview he does. It's a panel at an event. But I stand by my point that I would love to see Tim Curry come back.
Yeah.
There are so many ways that actors can come back these days, and especially I don't think... And he's in very good condition for a stroke survivor.
Yeah, you can still hear him speak.
Yeah, he might take a couple of seconds to start speaking, but when he does, it's coherent and fluent and as intelligent as anywhere before. So I still hold hope that Tim Curry will come back for the sequel of It. And we got a date, and it is 2019, right?
Yeah, for It too.
So it's not 27 months later, but it's nearly. It's about 24. 24 September 24. It's close. Couldn't wait just 2 months longer to make it 27 months, which would have been quite funny.
That's correct. So yeah, as I said, today's all about Alien. So why is that, Adam?
Today is Alien because Alien is the movie that affected me most as a child. Now, we'll post a photo of this because I brought the Alien box set that I fell in love with. It's the 20th anniversary, and it has the alien on the cover. See, my big thing when I was a younger kid, I must have been like 11 or 12. It must have been about 10 years ago. Hang on, no, not 10 years, because Alien's 79 that it came out. So we're approaching the 30th anniversary. So it's about 7 years ago then I must have watched this. So I would have been about 12, 13. Terrifying. Anyway, I had a big thing about box covers. It's the same with Trainspotting. The original DVD case for Trainspotting is one of the weird ones because if you turn it on the back, you have to hold it horizontally to read the back of the box instead of vertically, which is really bizarre.
Okay.
Well, the film 4 edition of it, I don't know if that's changed with years gone by, but there's certainly a cover of that DVD that you have to hold horizontally to read it. And I remember as a kid going to Mum, I want to watch this film because I was really intrigued by the box. And she's like, there's absolutely no way you're watching Trainspotting at like 12 years old. Which is probably a good decision, actually.
Yeah, and it's probably the same with Alien.
Good parenting. Anyway, so my mum wouldn't let me watch this one either. So one day, when my mum went away with a trip with her friends from school, I asked my dad, like, can we watch this DVD? He's like, what is it? I was like, it's Alien. He's like, all right, okay. Because Alien's a good movie. And it scared the shit out of me. And it blew me away because I hadn't really seen a scary movie before because I'd been too afraid. I'd been too afraid to really watch a scary movie.
Wow,
all the way
what a
through.
way to like lose your virginity.
Yeah,
that film.
Pop your cherry to the alien, man.
Oof,
The
Jesus.
chest burster and all these iconic moments in this
God.
film that we're going to get into. But yeah, this is why Alien is my choice because I remember distinctly the scene where the alien first gets a victim, which is Henry Dean Stanton, and I remember
He plays Brett.
I wanted to go to the bathroom. My dad was like, "You're going to want to stay for this bit," and I did. And I did want to stay.
So this alien is way before your drums tutor with you talked in the Nosferatu episode.
Oh, yes. So my drum tutor that gave me the DVDs, I think that came up because I saw him have a new edition of Alien. I was like, what edition is that? And he was like, oh, that's
Nice.
a new version of it. I'm like, oh, I've seen that. He's like, oh, are you into horror films? I'm like, yeah, I am. And then he gave me American Werewolf in London and Dusk Till Dawn. Two amazing movies. My God, we'll cover American Werewolf in London one day because my God, that has got one of the best transformation scenes in history. Mm-hmm. So, plot summary for Alien, you think?
Yeah.
Yes, that's yours. So
That's me.
Go
This
for it.
episode.
Go for it. Yeah.
So,
Get comfortable.
getting comfortable. Let me tell you a story, gentlemen. The film starts in the most iconic way possible with a title sequence that lingers but totally sets up that movie. We get the title card of Alien come up, kind of written in almost textile hieroglyphics, I want to say. Has that feel to it? And then we cut to a model flying through space of the ship Nostromo, travelling back to Earth, with the crew awakening, believing that they were awakening arriving home, but lo and behold to them, they've been awoken because a distress call from a crashed ship on a nearby planet is going off, and it's company protocol to investigate all signs of life that could be out there. So, against their own wills, really, they decide to investigate this distress call, which turns out to be the most unpleasant guest ever. The alien.
yeah.
And then
Doesn't even have a name.
we don't even call it the xenomorph yet. It's just the creature, really.
No, yeah, in one of the earliest scripts, the movie was called Star Beast, but when they looked at the number of times that the alien word appeared in the script, yeah, probably
Call it alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then trouble pursues when they unwillingly bring the alien back to the ship.
Are we putting spoiler tags in this?
I mean, this movie came out in 79,
Yes.
Yeah, true. Very true.
so we're going to
Very
spoil
true. You
it.
haven't seen it.
But we'll talk. There will be a spoiler tag because there's one part of this movie that we should discuss that will spoil it for everyone. Alien is one of those movies that's in the category of once you've seen it once, you'll never see it in the same way again. Like Fight Club. There's a distinct moment in Alien which we will put a spoiler emphasis on that part. Because I think we have to talk about Ash.
Yeah, inside.
So there we go.
Sure.
That's the plot of Alien. Alien on ship is killing people, escape the alien.
There's a lost in translation element on this one.
Oh, yay!
Back to bilingual corner.
Bilingual corner and Lost in Translation with Yann Sycamore.
Alien was not translated that much, except in Quebec when it became L'étranger, which is pretty much like the other one, the stranger, the alien. But in France, it was called Alien, le huitième passager. So that's if you realize that there are only 7 crew members on board, and that's pretty much means Alien, the 8th crew member, pretty much. So that's kind of
That's interesting.
it gives you a bit more,
Okay.
yeah.
That's quite cool.
And in Quebec, obviously, L'étranger, le huitième passager.
That's really interesting, actually.
It does amaze you thinking about what films are called in different countries. That was my favourite part of the Baby Driver episode when we discussed about
Oh, yeah.
a driver who's a baby. Wasn't it?
Yeah. Because, so in Britain it's called Baby Driver, but in France it's, what is it? Le Chauffeur.
Yeah, that was it.
So
Baby le chauffeur in
Baby le
Quebec.
Chauffeur, yeah,
so
stuff like that.
that kind of translates to Baby the Driver.
Yeah,
So
the
that's
driver.
a very different feel to... Anyway, so the reason why I brought up spoilers is because I just wanted to add that Alien was supposed to be the most terrifying monster. Like, its blood is acid, for God's sake. Like, it's got the most incredible defense mechanisms. There's no way to kill it. And if you do kill it, you'll probably die because it just spurts
It's like
acid in your face.
it's a really intelligent design for a creature. And I'm kind of curious, was there really any creature movie before that had a well thought out creature? Because they designed everything behind it. They're like, this isn't just a thing that hunts people. It's got acid for blood.
I mean,
it has a mouth that extends, so it doesn't have to like chase. If it can chase, it just has to get in with a certain reach.
I mean, you've already got horror.
Well thought out.
Film.
Well, the acid thing, because they needed to fill in a hole that they found that why the hell didn't they just shoot the hell up of the thing?
It's true. But
previous, I don't know. No idea.
When did Predator came out after? It's the 80s, right? Because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think Predator was the 80s.
It's probably after, because I don't remember if it's in the first one or the second one when we actually see a skull of an xenomorph. First one?
No, it's the second one. Yeah. It's the second one.
I haven't seen these films.
Seen Aliens?
No, but I haven't seen Alien 3 even.
Oh, we don't talk about Alien 3.
I've only seen Alien 1 and 2, and then honestly I just stopped watching them because all I heard was, and I didn't want it to ruin my whole thing of Alien. As I'm an actor, I should probably watch all these films if I hate them or not.
Here's the thing, Alien 3... The timeline as well is weird because Aliens was such a success that a sequel had to come out. But
let's just say Alien 3, just like the latest Indiana Jones, it just didn't happen.
Yeah, it wasn't.
4 is...
I like Resurrection.
Yeah, I know that.
It is naff, but it's fun.
It's it was written by Joss Whedon, and he said that forever there will be a shitty Alien movie with his name on it because of the casting. The guy played by Brad Dourif. Brad Dourif always plays the same kind of roles, and you're not supposed to know in advance what this character will be doing. And just by casting this guy, something
you knew,
you just knew immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
It is. It's funny.
But I really liked. And it's made by a French guy, Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
Hey.
I did like Alien Resurrection. Also, it's the beginning of Zack Snyder's career. I'm sure Zack Snyder was part of the design team for Alien Resurrection.
Oh, I have no idea.
I think he's part of that. Anyway, Alien, right? Alien is the crown jewel in the whole Alien franchise because it was never designed to be a franchise. This film is a rounded piece of work. There's an end, there's a beginning and a conclusion to this creature.
I mean, Ridley Scott even says that the production team wanted, so when she's gone into the separate compartment and she's just about to blow up the rest of the ship.
Spoilers.
And no, but we've got a spoiler tag on
I'm joking.
And she goes and the door shuts behind her. Apparently that's supposed to be the end. But Ridley...
yes.
Before the ship.
If I'm explaining this really badly, sorry. I just mean that when she gets into the part where she can then get away from the main part of the ship, that's supposed to be the point where she's gotten away.
Gone away, so they cut the whole...
So the fact that Ridley Scott felt the alien should actually be in that ship...
Yeah,
lo and behold,
escape pod.
Lo and behold, that set the trend for every other Alien movie. Every other Alien movie ends that way.
Like, there's no escape.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
do
I want to talk about Covenant?
Nobody can hear you scream and there's no escape.
Yeah, exactly, in space.
All right, before we go into Alien, right, I watched Alien Covenant the other day on a flight come back from New York, actually.
It looked really, really gory.
I don't know how I feel about Alien Covenant. Again, it's like, should have just called it Prometheus 2. I know there's a whole stigma about Prometheus because everyone's like, people thought Prometheus was going to be an Alien movie, and when it wasn't, they got annoyed. So they named the sequel an Alien, and they didn't get an Alien movie, they got a Prometheus movie, and they were annoyed again.
You know what the thing was?
What?
Ridley Scott said, originally when Alien came out, that there was no message. It was just pure terror. Yeah. And after that, his brother Tony died. And that's when the whole, where are we coming from? And the engineers and stuff, that's where it comes from. And that's the Prometheus thingy.
I liked Prometheus. I might get hate for that, but I do like Prometheus.
It was different. Yeah.
I quite enjoyed it. I took it for what it was. I wasn't expecting an Alien movie. But the thing I think
you never should expect things from films because that's quite a dangerous path to go down.
Yeah.
Really.
Anyway, the only thing I wanted to say about Alien Covenant was that they get the alien in and there's a big showdown with the alien and then they think they've got away. And you're just watching it going, I know the alien's going to be on the ship because that's how every Alien movie works.
Right.
You think you get away. Oh, no, you haven't. It's still
And you
here.
haven't, yeah.
And
But
also in Covenant, this specific one is all over the place. When the original Alien, he only has 4 minutes of screen time. It's just hiding terror, the unseen terror.
Yeah, that's another thing. And there's a whole different breed of like half aliens and stuff like that. It's bizarre. You have to sit down and think about it. So Alien, the actual film, I can't get over how revolutionary it is. Because I actually remember asking my dad, like, how did people react to this when it came out? It was like, people were terrified. People were absolutely scared, because there's a good quote from Ridley Scott. He's like, if I couldn't do it practically, I don't really want to do it. It's like, if you can do something and make it work, do that instead of CGI.
Oh yeah, by the way, when I went back to France for a few days with my family, Alien went on TV.
Oh.
And it was my father asked, well, the CGI looks a bit crappy, right? And my brother, we were like, well, it's 1979, so there was no CGI. Well, really? But how the hell did it? Well, just like in Star Wars, small models.
Yeah, small models, and some, so we watched the Ridley Scott commentary over the film. And in one of the, I think the egg, the way that it moves, like inside, there's like movement inside the egg, the alien egg, is actually Ridley Scott's own hands in rubber gloves.
He's like, I put rubber gloves on, and it's a fiberglass egg, and I just did that myself. There's so many nuggets you get. We could have a whole podcast just reciting Ridley Scott's commentary, but it's well worth buying a copy of the DVD to get the Ridley Scott commentary, because let's face it, this film is a masterpiece, and it's just quite interesting because the recording of Ridley Scott talking about it is not from 1979. It's obviously from him rewatching it years later for the DVD. So it's really interesting to go back and hear him talk about a film that he made years ago.
Especially because he's watching it and he'll say things like, oh, actually, that worked really well. Commenting on his own
it's
film.
Like, oh, that held up quite well, didn't it?
Yeah, oh, look at that.
Yeah, but there was also the director's cut, because they found some boxes in a London warehouse and they recut. Well, I think it came out way, way, way later.
Yeah, because there's a bit in the commentary when Ridley Scott goes, it's when they've got John Hurt back on the ship and they're watching the Ash try and operate on the creature on the face hugger on his face, and he goes, oh, there was a scene here where Lambert had a go at Ripley, basically calling her a bitch for not like trying to stop them getting him in the ship.
Yeah.
Which is in the director's cut later on. I don't know if you, Yann, watched both the theatrical version and the director's, but me and Anouk watched both. There are small differences. I think the nuances in the original one are quite nice, but I do appreciate the little touches.
Ridley Scott said the original one was his favorite, but yeah, I only watched the director's cut for this podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, there are sometimes it just feels like you're watching people, and that's quite nice. And actually sometimes there's loss, like, because you think of actors, even nowadays, sometimes watching actors feels like you're watching acting. And people are like, oh, that was amazing. And sometimes it's not because it's real. It's because it's good acting, if you know what I mean. And sometimes you're watching something and it's like, actually, I feel like I'm watching someone going through this grief. And sometimes it was so real that you felt like you were watching people dealing with what the hell was going on in their lives.
Well, the very opening of the film, when they're sitting around at the table after waking up from cryosleep, or is it hypersleep in this? I think it's hypersleep in Alien, they call it, where they're just talking normally. And Ridley Scott refers it to gobbledygook, like it's total rubbish. It shouldn't make sense because we have no reference. We don't know the jargon of this world, but because they're using it and the actors sell it so well and it's believable that you just get invested in this world. I really enjoyed that. I think the writing in this movie is superb.
Yeah, and
Script
even the improvised bits were really good. Like, hats off to the actors as well, because they probably had a really tough time over it.
It's one of the few films I've seen which is a collaborative success, because every aspect of the production plays into each other. So the set design plays in perfectly to the dialogue. The dialogue works because the graphic designers team have done so well designing the 70s sci-fi that is still used today. You know, all these old-fashioned computers that everyone would think like they have this in the future. And even the industrial symbols. Now, in real life, we have international industry symbols which will translate around the world. Actually, this is a good game to play. Yann, I'm gonna describe signs to you which you should understand what these mean, okay? So they should be international. So we have these in Britain. So if you see a circular sign that's red with a line through it, what does that mean?
Stop.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah, you shouldn't go there.
Yeah. If you see a yellow background and a black zigzag on it, what does that mean?
It's the triangle.
Yeah,
like the electricity risk.
It's like, but it's dangerous. So what that means is there's a design that throughout the world the colours represent what that is. So if it's yellow and black, it means it's dangerous.
Right, because what if tourists are driving in another country? You can't just be like, oh, I didn't know.
That's why
and then they die.
All stop signs or no entries are red and white because it translates all over the world. The same is to be said in Alien. There are signs on the walls that you can understand because they've got the colours on them. So for example, the design for the engine room is like got yellow dots in it, which would mean danger. There's stuff in here that could go wrong. Okay. You know, there's so many little things in the background that you'll never notice. I'll take something from Ridley Scott's commentary. You see that there's this little thing, the like it's like a duck, it's like a paperweight thing that tips into like the water. It's on the kitchen table in the main room. It's one of these things that go...
They're called crazy birds.
Crazy birds.
Oh, yes, I've noticed those because I know it's a thing, but I wasn't able to find...
So he talks about that obviously they would have bought stuff in like tourist shops wherever they went and they would keep it. For example, that's where Henry Dean Stanton gets his crazy Hawaiian shirt, you know? There are things on that ship that obviously don't belong on the ship, but they justify it. And you believe it because the world they've created is so good.
Right. I mean, even the little things like there's like porn plastered on one of the walls, and it's like you see it mid-fight, right? So you're a bit like, oh, I'm a bit preoccupied, but that's so funny because it's like this is someone else's bedroom, this is someone else's life that you've kind of walked in on, and he's just got kind of porn like plastered on the walls.
Got some sun topless models and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I just love that everything comes together. And especially the design of the alien. The alien's design works so perfectly with the ship as well. Like, the colour scheme matches, and it's almost like whatever one came first, whether it be the design of the alien and the design of the ship, you know that those two artist groups worked in collaboration.
Right.
That alien could hide on that ship. You know, like, you couldn't design... Imagine if they hadn't communicated and the alien's, like, bright yellow. You know, it just wouldn't work. Like, it would stick out.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of metallic. It's like a deep, dark grey, and it's slimy, and you don't really know what it is because it's completely different. It stands on two legs, right? So it looks like a human in a way. Like, it's got the body of a human.
But they bring up the fact that that's why it's called a xenomorph, is because it morphs to whatever it impregnates. So when the face hugger hugs you, if it hugged a human, it has that humanoid feel to it. In Alien 3, the face hugger attacks a dog. So it's more a dog, like, it's on all fours throughout the whole movie.
Okay, so I mean, I didn't know that, but that makes sense. I thought it was just so that we could kind of relate to it and it not be just this crazy thing, because sometimes, you know, when you can't relate to something, it's not that scary because you can't believe it. Yeah,
the justification in Alien 1 is that Ridley Scott wanted a creature that came from a sophisticated society. Though humans might not understand it, that this thing had an intelligence to it.
Oh, completely. I mean, they wanted to give it eyes in the beginning, but they changed it because they wanted it to be completely dead and like void of all emotion. Yeah. So
the initial Giger drawings
had eyes, but they decided that would make it too human.
This is a little fun thing for Yann. Do you know the spaceship? The
Nostromo?
No. The crashed spaceship, the alien, the engineer ship. Do you know what the nickname for that is for Ridley Scott?
Yes, the Big Croissant.
The Big Croissant.
Yes. For the production,
yeah. French love.
Yeah, it looks a bit like croissant.
It does a bit, doesn't it?
Did you also notice the Cassandra in there?
No.
Enlighten us.
Parker, you do know who Cassandra is in the mythology, Greek mythology.
Oh, yeah.
So she was in the Trojan War, and she was basically a seer, but she was cursed by Apollo, never to be trusted by anyone. So we've got Parker here, who who says multiple times, how come they don't freeze him? Why don't we freeze him? And they don't freeze him. Well, they're talking about John Hurt's character. It's like, don't let him in and stuff like that.
On a meta level, it's kind of because Parker's character is always self-invested.
Well, it's the chief engineer.
Yeah, the guy who's He's the black guy, right? Parker's the black guy. So Parker and Henry Dean Stanton's characters are like the lower level on the ship. So they're like the engineers that keep the ship going. But they're always talking about when are we going to get our shares.
They're talking about money.
They always talk about money. So I feel that's a very good decision to make him the one that states the obvious, because
no one's going to take you.
No one takes that seriously, because you're like, oh, he's just talking about his money again. Also, the fact it pays off because Parker is the last person to be killed in the film.
And also Parker and Veronica.
Second last.
What's her name?
Because he saves Lambert in the end. He's the second last to survive.
But both of them die. But you kind of think, why did we not have any of the rest of the bodies? But then obviously that comes back later because everyone else is still alive. As horrible as that is.
Is that in the theatrical one? I don't think that's in the theatrical.
It's not. You're so right. It's only in the director's
cut
that she goes down into the bowels of the ship, and it's their dead bodies kind of plastered. You know the scene where the wall.
She finds Dallas and Henry Dean Stanton on the walls. You remember that scene?
I think Ian Hurt's still there as well.
He can't be there because he dies on that table.
I swear you see his body.
Maybe it is there. Maybe
it
comes
it's
back
Brett.
for it.
Maybe it was Brett.
I think it's Brett.
Right.
So this isn't in the theatrical version. There's a scene where she finds Dallas and Dallas says, "Kill me," which is quite interesting because that whole sequence comes up in Aliens when they go in to find where all the humans are on the settlement, and they're all in the aliens' nest on the walls, like impregnated. It would be interesting if that was in the version that we see in the cinema, but I totally understand why it's not there at all.
Because it's so horrific.
That, and it doesn't need to be there because the audience just assume that they're dead anyway.
Yeah, true. No, it doesn't need to be there. I'm thinking about like money and time, and maybe they had like production issues.
I think it takes away a little from the best scene in the movie, which is the vent scene when Captain Dallas. Also, can we just say that is one of the most interesting acting decisions I've seen in a long time? Because you could imagine any actor getting the captain role that's like, right, I'm the captain, I'm in charge, and when something doesn't happen, it's like, no, you gotta do it my way. But he plays like this mellowed out, really relaxed, calm captain that has, and you believe him, he's very authoritative, but it's in a calm way. People trust his decisions. So when it comes to him like stepping up to saying, I'm the one going in the vent,
he's very practical though, isn't it? It's like he's not emotional on that level. So
he goes in the vent and it's the poo-doop, 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 the first time we ever see the heartbeat monitor, which is now synonymous with Alien.
Terrifying.
That sound on the monitor, which is actually a different sound to the one we hear in Alien 2.
Right.
Aliens. It's a totally different system as well, and it's because it's on the wall of the ship instead of a handheld thing. But what I mean is, that scene when he's running away and then the alien gets him at the last minute, that has more power if we think that's how he dies. So like his body is just in that vent. He's left there. When we see him again in the director's cut on the wall, I think that takes away from that scene because the alien drags him off. He doesn't get killed in the vent. I think that's a smarter decision, the theatrical cut, to keep him dead in that vent.
It probably makes Alien 2 even more shocking when you realise what Aliens like sometimes does to its body. Actually. So you're like, oh god, like maybe this happened to the people in Alien 1 that you didn't see actually die.
I think if that had been in the cut for Alien, then it would take away from that scene in Aliens. So it's the right decision that it's not in the theatrical cut. But again, it is nice to see again. We'll talk about alternative cuts when we talk about Yann's favourite movie, Army of Darkness.
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed. In Nosferatu, at one point we talked about how in 1922 we had a very strong female character manipulating everyone, and how these days it supposedly changed. This one, the lead is, well, it's one of those times where the lead was not required to cry, shout, or show breasts.
No.
So that's
the only time she's vaguely sexual is at the end when she gets changed to get in the pod. And even that's just like not really mentioned at all. It's just her getting changed.
Right. And also like there's nothing wrong as well with women having sexuality or even having like a weakness. And that's what I quite liked about her character, is that they made her a woman, not just a woman being a man. And that's why she's an authoritative figure, which I think quite a lot of films do. They're like, yeah, we have a female strong character and she's a female who's a man. And it's like, well, don't do that. Like, that's not what we want to see.
We have 5 strong female leads, and they're all going to be in the Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah, and they're all going to be men.
Sorry, 4, not 5. 5 would be ridiculous.
Yeah. They're all they all act like men. And so I quite liked the fact that she was just a very strong woman.
Yeah, Ripley is extremely well thought out as a character.
It was nice.
Very nice to see a strong female lead. Because female leads in horror films have been going pretty strong in the 70s. I mean, we have in Halloween, is it Curtis? What's her first name? The character's name. I can't remember who it is. The name of the character in Halloween. The girl.
I have no idea.
I haven't watched those, actually.
But she's the main in that, so it's strong enough. Although she is quite panicky and stuff, because, well, obviously you would be. You're being hunted by a man with a butcher's knife.
Yeah, but she's a main woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and there are some films that do that, which is nice.
Which was like Texas Chainsaw again, you know? They had her running away at the very end of the film. Also, shout out to Texas Chainsaw for being the first movie I've seen them kill off a disabled person and be like, fuck it.
Well, cool. Texas Chainsaw, which was what Ridley Scott had in his mind, like when he pitched, he wanted it to be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre of science fiction.
I mean, I see that because he does have that thing of like, I don't really know what I'm running away from. I don't see it very much, but it's also very terrifying. You also don't know what the alien wants.
Yeah.
In a way. And I think that's what you
thief.
feel within Texas Chainsaw, that you have no idea what these people want. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you killing these people? And why do you have someone else's face on your face? It's just...
Roughly, because I haven't seen the original Texas Chainsaw in a while.
Oh my God, watch it.
How far into the movie until we meet Leatherface?
Oh, like an hour.
An hour in. Right, so he
I'm
definitely uses that as influence, because 45 minutes of this movie is set up. And I think I talked about this in It, that jump scares don't really get me anymore, because right now in horror and video gaming horror as well, especially, the jump scare is the big thing. I mean, look at Five Nights at Freddy's, which is a simulator game where you sit at a desk and be hunted by animatronics, right? And they just jump scare you if you get caught, basically. This is 45 minutes of suspense, because you don't know what's going to happen. You really don't.
Yeah. It's an emotional thing as well, which I think it has been lost, because it's so easy to sell the jump scare, the cheap jump scare, and also that people don't like gore. It's easier, and it's probably cheaper actually, and it takes much more less time, that you just keep on getting these, like, you know, torture porn Saw types.
Haunted dogs and shit.
You just watch these old films and you're just thinking, like, why did this go away? Because it works so well. And I mean, yes, maybe mainstream wise, we've become a little bit desensitized. But if a film is good, it does well, right? If a film is good, it does well. And this is something that these stupid, horrible fat cats in suits need to, like, understand.
You listen to me, fat cats in suits.
Yeah, fat suit cat. We'll never get sponsorship now. No, but you're losing something, right? If you just give us Saw. Whereas, you know, we all want Alien.
Well, again, Saw 1 is a suspense thing, because you don't know if they're going to get out in the 6 hours. They've got 6 hours to get out of a room.
Right. And honestly...
Whereas in Saw 2, it's like, you've got a minute to cut your eye out, or I'm going to mash your head in.
When he closes the door on that man...
Game over.
Yeah. I actually felt horrible. Like, it's such a horrible... That scream is terrifying, the darkness, everything. It's just like... And I am emotionally attached to the main guy.
Which one? Adam? The guy that's left in the room?
Yeah.
Do you know he's the writer?
Yes, I do, Adam.
Adams are good writers.
Yeah, yes.
I just realized there is a strange link between this movie and the next one we're doing.
Oh?
Army of Darkness, yeah.
Really?
Dan O'Bannon, who came up with a story for Alien, introduced Ridley Scott to the artwork of H.R. Giger, and...
The rest is history.
The original painting where you see the actual xenomorph was called Necronom 4, like the Necronomicon.
Yeah, because Ridley Scott mentions about the ship design and the alien design, that the artwork he saw was from this book, the Necronomicon. That's the ship has that feel. Yeah, he mentions that in the documentary. In the commentary, he's like, yeah, the spaceship the alien comes on has got this like Necronomicon, because the artist was drawn from this book, just these ideas. And they quite like the uneven and dark scale of this ship. Could be from another world.
You've also got the gnarled tree trunky look of the book. That's kind of like, I mean, the ship looks like a boneyard. It's like all kind of ribs and
Yeah.
bony and kind of gnarled, strange stuff. Yeah.
Did you know that the fog effect they have on the egg is a laser? You know, when they go down to find the eggs?
Yeah, there is the laser that protects, that's the kind of alert mechanism thingy. There is a laser.
He has this laser to act as the fog. So it's like there was a laser show going on the set.
The blue-ish type of haze
Yeah, the
that's
haze,
over the eggs.
haze with the eggs is a laser.
And you can hear it in the film as well.
You hear like this buzzy noise, which works totally because you're on an alien ship.
Oh, I'm sorry. The score of that film is so genius. And it's like, it's hardly anything. Yeah. I mean, it's genius, but there's hardly anything there. And you're like, why does this work? And it does. It's insane. It's literally half the film. It's incredible.
Just like I said earlier, it's a masterpiece of all departments. Everything came together, the score, the sound effects, like the sounds of the computers make.
Yeah.
All the loading up and the booting up and all that stuff sounds totally perfect. You believe every part of it.
I like how the computer's called Mother as well. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, because I mean, Space Odyssey 2001 already had HAL, like a really good name for the computer, so Ridley Scott had to come up with a good name. I think Mother's quite a good name.
Mother's nice, especially because she's like, Mother, you son of a bitch, or something.
Yeah, she gets to have all these bitch
like,
moments.
That's such a great line. Like, if you didn't know what she was shouting at, that'd be that'd just be so funny. Like, Mother!
Did you realize, in terms of actors, the Veronica Cartwright, she read for Ripley. And when she arrived on set for the wardrobe fitting,
oh God,
she realized, well, she wasn't.
The harsh world of being an actor, man. Like, they can change you in a second. Oh.
Casting on this movie is perfect, though.
It is.
It's the really tough thing that, as actors ourselves, that you have to come to terms with, that no matter how good you are or what performance you do in that audition room, if you don't suit what they're going for, you can't do anything about it. You can't.
This is a business. Obviously, it is your own body and your own mind that you're selling, but if you think about it, you're selling a product. And if that product doesn't work, why the hell should they waste their time on you? Do you know what I mean? That sounds harsh, but you are selling a product.
Yeah.
So why would they, if someone wants cream, if you're shampoo, they're not going to use you. Well, that's such a strange way of explaining it. But
well, Sigourney Weaver was the very last one to be cast, so probably Veronica Cartwright actually was cast, and then they changed their mind or something.
Yeah. And I mean, I know that some actors have even said, I don't believe that I'm going to keep this part until I see it in the cinema, in the premiere. I'm sitting down, I'm watching myself, and right, I got this part, it's fine. Because they can take it away whenever they want.
Of course, and you've got all those creative differences also, which make it that Aragorn was never Stuart Townsend. Or the V for Vendetta was started with James Purefoy and not Hugo Weaving and that kind of stuff. Yeah. And, well, the worst example, I'm pretty sure, well, because those ones I just mentioned didn't shoot anything, except James Purefoy did a few scenes. But Back to the Future, it was Eric Stoltz who started as Marty.
Yes, because they couldn't get Michael J. Fox because he was doing a
series.
A series is I can't remember the series. I want to say Full House, but I don't think it is Full House. No, it was Teen Wolf. He was doing Teen Wolf. No,
it was.
He just done Teen Wolf.
It was a series, but they didn't want to let him go. There were scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, and they eventually
Eric Stoltz didn't work. The funny aspect of the character didn't get out. So at one point, Michael J. Fox worked out. All the scheduling conflict disappeared. So they
And I mean, what's worse is that if you're in a really big mainstream film, sometimes the production, or what are they called? I'm talking about the fat cats again.
Calm fat cats will be easier then, especially for the word.
The fat cats might say, sorry, we don't want him as our main because he doesn't have a big enough name. So you might be perfect for it, but if you're not famous, they won't get the money for it. They won't get the backing for it.
Didn't that happen to Charlie?
Yes. I'm not sure if it was production, though. I think it might have been, they said, look, you're perfect for it, but actually we're going to go with Matt Smith because you are not.
Was he up for that? I thought he was up for context for the story's listener. Anouk's friend, Charlie, is an actor as well, and he auditioned for the suitor of Princess Anne in The Crown, the Netflix series.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
And he did really well, and he suited the part, but in the end, because it's a Netflix launching show, like a big name, they needed an actor with a bit of a following behind.
They usually actually don't tell you why you don't get casting. And I remember he said to me, that's unheard of, but he was somehow lucky and they told him that, you know what, you're perfect for it, but because you don't have a name. So there's so many different things that can get in your way. And that's something that you just have to think about as an actor, like
unfortunate circumstances. Like John Hurt almost wasn't cast. He was Ridley Scott's first choice, but he was contracted in South Africa for a film at the same filming dates.
Yeah.
But he couldn't go because in South Africa, the John Hurt's name was similar to a guy who was not welcome there. So he actually wasn't able to go doing his South Africa shoot. So he was then available to do the Alien.
Didn't he say something really funny? Like there was another John Hurt who said he was anti-apartheid.
Yeah, John Finch.
John Finch.
But
and
the name was similar enough.
Yeah. And they didn't allow him. But I think John Hurt then said, well, I am also anti-apartheid, but I'm not this guy, but, you know, I'm happy that I was able to do Alien.
And a John Finch guy actually went on set, but suffered from severe diabetes anyway, so it worked out for the guy.
Imagine not getting in a country because your first name matches somebody that you don't like. I mean, my first name's Adam, but you don't see me getting up with Maroon 5 at a concert in Glasgow going, all right, my name's Adam, I'll do.
yeah. His name was Adam, so we might as well, like... You obviously are the same person because you have the same first name. It's not even that he has like a weird first name that there's like, it's uncommon. Like it's the most common name out there. They just didn't like the fact that it was a very similar name. Strange.
In terms of actors and also link with V for Vendetta actors, you never see their faces. In this one, there's the Nigerian actor Balaji Badejo as the alien, who was discovered in a bar. And just like a bit similar as what they did with It when they never showed It before it appeared. There, the dailies, usually you don't show dailies to actors. But specifically, these ones were only shared with Giger, Ridley Scott, and these guys so they could adjust the movement of the alien.
Because he was very tall and very skinny, right? Because I think he was quite ill.
I don't know. This was his first and only acting gig.
Yeah, because he died in his 30s. I think he had sickle cell.
Ugh.
So I think he was quite ill. And actually, do you know what? I'm making that up. I don't know if sickle cell makes you skinnier or makes you look any different, but I can imagine that.
It sounds like a nasty disease, man.
Right. I mean, it's all to do with the blood and I don't know much about it, but I know that it can be really painful.
Do you know what's a big credit to that guy's legacy? When I was a kid watching this movie, I didn't know it was a guy in a suit. Honestly, I didn't know.
I didn't know until a few years ago when someone was like, you know, that's an actual person. It's unbelievable.
You would think that it was stock animation in a way, but the fluidity of this performance is excellent. It's a shame that movement pieces and movement actors sometimes never get the credit or the recognition.
Because they're never seen.
There should be a category for best movement actors for Oscars or BAFTAs. I mean, there's an argument now.
That's a very good idea.
There's an argument now, and there's been an argument ever since Gollum, you know?
It's no longer motion capture, but performance capture now.
Yeah, performance capture. There was always the argument when that happened that, like, there should be a category for these actors. But I think it should go back. I mean, people...
Did he get an award for that? Because he should have done. It was incredible.
I think he might.
That was a person.
I'll have to check.
But I mean, even if you watch, like, these horror films and you see in the background, but you've got like 10, 20, 30 actors in suits and makeup and everything. But the way that they move and the way that they're kind of syncing together is just incredible.
Well, if you go back to like even the beginning of cinema, like think of Japanese cinema, I'm thinking of Godzilla. Like Godzilla was a guy in a suit. And I watched Shin Godzilla, which is the Godzilla that came out in Japan in 2015 or 16, to directly combat the Godzilla that came out in 2014. Japan wanted to make one of their own.
Okay.
And it's really good. Film's really good, and it's a guy in a suit doing it, so it's all practical, and it's really good.
I'm trying to think of actors who were in suits and you didn't see their face. I mean, V for Vendetta was amazing.
Well, all the original monkeys in Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston, they all would have been in suits.
That's very true.
Who would else would be in suits? Countless actors in Doctor Who's in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Talking about scenes and actors again, the direction, how the chest-busting scene, there were 4 cameras.
Yeah.
And the only thing that was written in the script was this thing emerges. Yeah, so only John Hurt knew, because he was rigged with loads of stuff, obviously. But he was the only one to actually know what was going to happen. The rest was just genuine reactions.
This just goes to show, if you're an actor, stay in character. If you have no idea what's going on, stay in character until director says cut, because they might be filming without you knowing whatever the fuck is going on.
That's why that scene works so well, because you get little shots of Ash looking like, I know something's going to happen, and then you get everyone else's reactions.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a duplicitous character from the beginning, and you're like, there's something going on, and it's amazing.
Okay, here's the spoiler warning. If you haven't seen Alien, stop listening and go and watch it, right? Go and watch Alien because it's good. Then come back. We'll be waiting, but we'll still be here. All right, you gone? All right, good. Right. So Ash is an android.
Yes, he is.
Oh.
Spoiler.
It blew my mind when I saw it the first time because I did not see it coming.
You don't, though. I mean,
don't.
An android? Like, are you kidding?
The reveal that he's an android is perfect when he has that solitary bead of sweat come down that's white. And you're like, what the hell is that? Your first thought is, oh my god, the aliens got him.
Yeah, like that's the right.
That's right, yeah.
That's true, actually.
Well, also the fact that he's an android, but he could be just an android like with the rest of the crew, but he's taking orders from the company. So that's the
he's the invested interest.
Who are bastards.
As well as the fact that we haven't got a setup for the whole synths and that comes later in the series. Ash being an android is a major thing for this film because you now realise that the alien had an ally all along. You see the things that Ash does in the movie that now you're like, oh my god, that makes sense why he did that. But it also justifies...
Why did he open the door?
That's the biggest one in the film. Because you can watch the scene where he lets John Hurt in the ship and go, oh, what a compassionate guy. But now you watch
That's true.
Now you watch it again on the second time round, like in Fight Club, when you know the twist, and you go, you bastard, why did I not see that?
Oh, and I mean, the scene where they're all eating, and John Hurt's just about to have
and he's watching
you watch
him,
Ash... And he's like, he's shady, man. He's so shady in that scene. He's just like not smiling, not reacting. He keeps on like looking at, what's his character's name? We can't keep calling him John Hurt.
Kane.
Yes.
He keeps on looking at Kane and it's like, what is wrong with this guy? Like maybe he's just a bit weird, you know? I think at the first I thought he might be a little bit autistic or something, but just a little bit weird. And it's like Fight Club and it's like Baby Driver. You can watch it again and again and you realize all these little things and it's like amazing no matter when you're watching it for the first time. But then again, you do go back and you think, I wish I was watching this for the first time because you miss out on that like moment of like, oh my god, he's an android.
That's the shame.
I've got 2 fun facts about Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, go for it.
The first one, in one of the previous episodes, Adam, you talked about how music is always a nightmare because if you add it before and don't have the rights, it's it's not good. Well, it was Sigourney Weaver's idea to sing at the very end, You Are My Lucky Star, while she was preparing to get rid of the alien.
Oh.
And Ridley Scott had some issues from the studio afterwards because it was very expensive to keep it.
Oh no.
Yes, to get the rights, yeah. And also, on the first day of shooting, that involved Jones, the cat. Her skin started to react badly, so that weird reaction, but she immediately thought she was allergic to cats and told the production that it might be easier to recast her.
Oh.
That's, instead of getting whatever.
A new cat.
Oh, like 4 different cats.
Yeah. And in the end, actually, she was just allergic to that glycerin stuff they add to make your skin look sweaty and hot.
Wow. Also, a key point that I didn't really notice is after the last death, which is Parker, there is no dialogue in that film until the end, except her singing.
Yeah, and then she also says Ripley out.
Yeah, until she does the log at the end.
Yeah.
There's no dialogue. But that changes if you watch the director's cut. Because you have that scene where she finds the guys and she's like, they say kill us.
Oh, yeah.
So that changes in that version. So in one version, you get this nice no more dialogue for the rest of the film. And in another version, there is dialogue, which I thought was quite nice as well. I enjoyed that there was silence because, again, it's like the beginning of the film, building suspense is like the alien. Also, to nearly bring the podcast to an end, this is a nice segue where Ripley runs through the ship trying to get to the end. Now, I'm an avid gamer, right? And one of my favourite games of the past couple of years is Alien Isolation, in which you play Amanda Ripley, which is her daughter, which we find out in Aliens that she has a daughter. I think it's briefly mentioned, if mentioned at all in this one. And you land on an abandoned space station, and there's an alien on it, and you have to survive. But it's one of these games that you can't fight back at all. And very much the point of the game is you have to sneak around and not be heard by it. Right? It's very much like the end of the film. Like, there'll be stuff happening, going off, and you're like, I can't run because it'll hear me. Having played the game and then watching this again, I felt the suspense because I'm like, I know if you run in the game, the alien hears you. So I'm like, the alien's going to come at any moment. So that added more to that, which was quite nice.
That's a good game.
It's a solid game. It's well worth a play.
I've seen you play it. I haven't played, but
well, if maybe we'll do a let's play one day of Alien Isolation together.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
I think it should be said that there are at least 2 theme bars in Switzerland with the interior designs of H.R. Giger's.
Oh.
Yeah, because I've seen on, I think it was a couple of years ago, pictures from my social account of family members. Oh, wow.
I almost bought ice trays that make the alien eggs.
Oh, God.
Don't know why, but they were about.
Oh, yeah. I love ice trays that are like...
collectible ice trays
shapes.
are nice, quite nice. We've got a Tetris one and a Death Star one, and maybe get an alien one.
Yeah, we should.
And to go even further into not revealing what the alien looked like, they never gave early production images when it was released. Not even to the guy who wrote the novelization. So you had to see the movie to actually discover
See the creature.
That's
Yeah, it's not on the
amazing.
posters anywhere, where nowadays it'd be all over the poster.
And like in it, you didn't have Pennywise or the actor in the alien suit with the other actors, like eating lunch and on their breaks and stuff, because they wanted the fear to be real when they saw the alien or they saw Pennywise for the first time. They wanted that kind of raw feeling. And I mean, so many of the screams are actually real in Alien.
Yeah, you feel the scare. I think that kind of does it. For me, I think...
Go watch it, basically.
Go watch it.
Yeah.
Yann, do you have anything else to add before I ask the question?
An acting bit.
Go for it.
They actually rehearsed, and Ridley Scott wrote several backstory for each character, and giving that to the outside of the script thing. He actually wrote some stuff, and he filmed a lot of their rehearsals to capture spontaneity and improv and attention between cast members and stuff, especially towards the less experienced Sigourney Weaver, because she had only been doing mostly stage stuff. In Broadway. So yeah, the whole backstory bullshit.
All the 20 questions your character would ask and stuff
What
like
are
that.
your characters' hobbies?
What did they want to be when they were younger?
What's his color? Oh, my character
Colour
would be yellow.
symbolises their
Yeah,
growth.
right. Like
All
that
that
helps.
stuff.
That
Yeah.
helps your
That really helps that moment when she flushes it out into space. She's like, I'm thinking of my childhood dreams as I vanish you into space.
Yeah, no.
And as this podcast vanishes into space, I have to ask, Anouk, Yann, was Alien good, bad, or just plain standard? Anouk?
It's a good film, man. It's a good film.
Yann?
Good.
You already know what I'm going to say. It's a masterpiece of creative departments coming together.
Oh, yes.
This is up there in my top 5 favourite films of all time. It's up there. It's a solid up there.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, honestly.
So, what's coming next? Army of Darkness.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Next episode. So, you were listening to
Adam.
Anouk.
and Yann. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.